Good morning, students. We are ready with part 3 of lesson improvement in our food resources. Before going to today's lecture, just I want to recall what we have learned yesterday, what we have learned in our previous class. So, student, in our previous class, we have learned what are the different varieties of crops which are grown in India and all over the world, and we have learned the reasons which have improved our food production and the group of activities which are responsible for the increased crop production. We have already started the first group of activity, which is crop variety improvement. Students, if you recall the previous class, just I want to ask you a question: why crop variety improvement is done? And this question is your homework. So students, crop variety improvement, we have two methods by which crop variety improvement is done. Now the first method is hybridization, that we have already learned in our previous video. So what is this? I want to recall, hybridization is the process of crossing over the character of two genetically dissimilar plants in one plant, and the new plant form is known as a hybrid plant, which will have a combined characters of both the cases. So we combine the characters of two different plants in a single plant by hybridization. Next, the second method is genetic modification. So today we will learn what is genetic modification and how it is done. See students, genetic modification is done with the help of gene. What is gene? You have already learned gene in class 8, that gene is the smallest unit of DNA which transfers the characters from one generation to the next generation. So students, this gene is very important because all the characters in our body are transferred and they are transferred with the help of the gene. So they carry all the characters in our body. So whatever character we want to introduce in a gene, we take that character or that gene and we introduce into the crop where we want the desirable character. For example, here I have drawn DNA, and suppose this DNA and this DNA is the original DNA, and we have cut the DNA and we have introduced gene or DNA of some other plant here. Now this DNA is ready to be added to the new variety, and as a result the new plant which will be produced will have a new character. We'll understand this by a simple example. Suppose we have two varieties of wheat. In one variety of wheat, the grains are of a bigger size, and in another variety of wheat, we have grains which are of smaller size. The bigger size grain produce more amount of flour, and the smaller size grain produce less amount of flour. And we have also seen that in the plant one, which has a bigger type of grain, that has a good quality carbohydrate also, means that produces more amount of carbohydrate, and the lesser grain produces less amount of carbohydrate. So which plant you want to select? Naturally the first one. So suppose we want to select the first grain, which is tall in size and which produces more amount of carbohydrate by the means of flour. So we will extract that gene which is responsible for the tallness of the character, and gene is extracted from the nucleus, since genes are present in the DNA and DNA is the nucleic acid which is present in the nucleus. So we'll extract that gene and we'll add that gene in the variety where we want to incorporate the particular character. As a result, the new variety, when it will start to produce new grains or food, or when it starts fruiting, the new wheat grain that is produced will be of longer size, and they will have the character that the carbohydrate percentage of that is higher. So this is how we produce new varieties of crops by genetic modification, and the crops which are produced by this method is known as genetically modified crops. So students, the two methods by which what we have learned, the two methods by which crop variety improvement can be done. One is hybridization and another one is the genetic modification. Now students, a simple question to you is, what are the factors that we want that these what are the factors for which we want to do our crop variety improvement? So I know that you may have some variety of answers in your mind, and that are right also. So let us write this answer, let us try to get the answer in form of certain heading, because there are many factors which directly, indirectly influence the crop and its production. So the factors for which crop variety improvement is done, we have 6 factors. Coming to the first factor is high yield. Naturally students, we want that type of crop that produces more yield. So we want to increase the productivity per acres of the land. Means in the same piece of land, we want to improve or increase our food production. The second factor is improved quality. Means the grains, the crop should be of a better quality or an improved quality than the previous one. How can we check that it is an improved quality? See, if it is a wheat or a cereal crop, then we'll look for its baking quality, because wheat is utilized, you have seen and you know well that wheat is used for making cake, pastries. So if the cake rises, means its baking quality is better. It means that we want that type of wheat variety which has a good baking quality. Second, if we are selecting pulses, then we want more amount of protein from it. If we want oily seed, then we should have a better quality of oil. We should get a better quality of oil from the oil seed. And if we are growing fruits and vegetables, then fruits we want which quality? That the fruits and vegetables could be stored for a longer duration of time. So these were the improved qualities for which that we want to incorporate in a new variety of crop. The next one is biotic and abiotic resistance. Biotic means anything which has life. So it is possible that the crop may be attacked by an insect or a nematode. Nematodes are the small insects, the small organisms or insects, and because of microorganisms, the plant may suffer from certain diseases. So we want that crop variety which has the resistance of all the three. Means it is not harmed by these three factors. Means it is not harmed by any disease or insect and nematode, or it is less harmed. Next is abiotic resistance. Abiotic means anything which don't have life. So these are the factors which can directly influence the productivity of a crop. Means if we want to grow a crop in a drought area, we want that type of crop which has a resistance power against drought, which cannot be harmed in the drought condition. Similarly, if the field has high amount of salt, Then also we want that type of crop that can withstand high salinity or a lower salinity. Then if the crop remains in water, if the water remains at a particular area for a certain period of time, then that is termed as waterlogging. So we want that if somehow water gets stagnant at a particular place, it should not harm our crop. Then our crop should have a high resistance to heat, to cold and to frost. Frost means a very low temperature. Means our crop should not be harmed by if the temperature goes down. Next, students, the another factor is change in the maturity duration. Mature crop means when the crops are ready to be harvested. So, students, we want that type of crop which has a shorter duration. So, if suppose we have a crop which when the time between its sowing and harvesting is 3 months, then we can grow within a year we can grow 4 different types of crops if each crop takes only 3 months to grow. So, if the crop has a shorter duration, then we can grow multiple round of crops in a year. Similarly, if it has a shorter duration, then it reduces the cost also, because it will take less amount of water, less amount of nutrients, so less amount of manures and fertilizer. Therefore, we can reduce its cost. Then, students, farmer also want that the crop should mature at the same time, because it becomes easy for the farmer to harvest the crop if it is mature uniformly. At the same time, the farmer will come along with all the equipment for harvesting, and the farmer will be able to finish his or her job within short period of time, that is harvest. Then the next one is the wider adaptability. Means wider adaptability means that our crop, whatever crop we are growing, that crop should be whatever climatic conditions are there, our crop withstand that climatic conditions, and our crop is ready to be grown everywhere. Whether we grow that crop in Jammu Kashmir or we grow that crop in South India, we can grow it everywhere. So that is wider adaptability. The same variety of crop, if it can be grown under different environmental conditions. Okay, one variety of crop grown under different environmental conditions. The next one is the sixth and the last factor is the desirable agronomic character. Agronomic character means the characters which are present in the crop. For example, if it is a fodder crop, just recall what is fodder crop? Yes, fodder crops are the crops which are required, which we require to feed the domestic animals or the animals which are reared and taken care under animal husbandry. So, if the crop if it has a high amount of branching, if it has a more of profuse branching, ultimately we get many leaves and branches and we get enough amount of food to feed the domestic animals. And if it is a cereal crop, then it is opposite. We want our cereal crops to be short so that it matures at the right time, it takes less amount of nutrients, and it is easily handled by the farmer. So students, in today's class we have learned, just a recap what we have learned in today's class. In today's class we have learned the two methods by which we can do crop variety improvement. One is hybridization and another one is the genetic modification, and the crop which are grown by genetic modification are known as genetically modified crops. Then we have learned the 6 factors for which crop variety improvement is done. One is improved quality, like baking quality, protein quality, oil and preserving quality in fruits and vegetables. Then we have read about that our crop should give a high yield. Then biotic and abiotic resistance. Our crop should have a biotic and abiotic resistance. Then we have learned that the crop should uniformly mature and they should be of shorter duration. Then we have learned that they should have a wider adaptability, means they are fit to be grown anywhere at a particular not at a particular place, but they can be grown anywhere all over the country. And the last one was desirable agronomic character, means that we want enough amount of branching if it is a fodder crop, and if we want a dwarf or a short plant if it is a cereal crop. So students, I think you have understood today's lecture. So we'll continue this lesson in our next lecture. Thank you.